Alright.
90%. Active Fuel Galaxy A6 and water play.
Alright. Another day. So let's enter for this race. There we go. So we have about 40 minutes. So, you should be back. There we go. So, 40 minutes before race start means we have quite some time for warm-up. I decided to go for the greatest London flat, which isn't bad, we still have to hunt. We're on the TT bike, so we will be doing a lot of kilometers towards the final mission. It should be 23 kilometers, so I should be able to finish this in 40 minutes. Hey Cam, welcome man. So 23 kilometers of warm up on the TT bike and then back for the third time to the Swift headquarters sprint race. It went very well the second time. So let's hope we can maintain that pace, right? 12 laps of the Dolphin. And last time around we were, I think, one of being disqualified, not like the first time. I do remember there were a few corners who stayed with the front group the entire ride. So the start is going to be heavy again. And then you can see all these green cones pop up. That's the moment I'm looking forward to. Let's get a little speed in, otherwise we won't be able to finish this one. 23k in 40 minutes. It's doable. But we do have to put some power on the pedals, I guess. Get a bit warmed up in the meantime. How is your day, Cam? Doing well? Have you been on the bike already today? Or are you still planning to? I had a pretty lazy day today. Didn't too much. Hoping I had a little nap afternoon. Felt great, still waking up though. This probably will help, right? I was thinking about doing stage 3 today as well, but I'm not feeling the courses, so I decided not to do them today. The one is with a lot of climbing in it, like almost 600 altitude meters in a 30k race, which is a lot, right? And then the other one had, it was about 30k as well, but there was a 200 meters of climbing. Anyhow, I wasn't feeling at all. And I think we have still 2 days left to complete that. We did the stage 2 yesterday. So, perfect timing for this green cone race today on the crit. Try to stay with the big boys in the front. Top laps, I always think it's pretty long on the crit race, but it can be so much longer, right? We did 24 lap once, so that's half of this lap. Last time around, it felt really good in that group. Like the pace was there, but it wasn't excruciating hard. I was climbing well, I was sticking the wheels well. Good recovery between efforts. And the green cones either got dropped or they weren't able to drag as much as they normally would. I think it will be around 60 to 70 people, something like that. Which means the front group will be around 20 to 25 people. Might be a good one, guys. I guess it's gonna be close again for completing this bag before the race starts. We have 30 minutes. 30 minutes for 20 kilometers. So, should be working, right? Anyhow, we have a half an hour of warm-up anyhow. Even if you don't finish the badge, it doesn't matter. Let's hope we do, but if not, no problem. But we'll be nicely warmed up for that 12 Battle Royale race. It's the dolphin direction, that means we'll go over the little climb and we'll have the hilly section right after that. In the end, that's the part that hurts the most. If everybody ramps up on that little climb. Last time around, that's where we lost the race. In the last round, we felt a little bit short trying to hold the wheels after the climb. We lost a few wheels on the hills and we were too late for the sprint. We did our best though, we did our best. I even used the power up just to get back in the wheels. Just wasn't enough. Let's see if today is better or worse. We can feel even harder. Like I said, it is a 12 lap race, so 12 laps. You only need one really big lap to be totally out of the game. Like miss the group in the first round, for example. To miss the group for some reason, little power outage, or just bad start. And then you're done, I guess. But if we manage to get with the front group, last time it stabilized after a full lap. That's pretty quick in the quick race. I think some were like anxious of being disqualified with the green cone. So once you are in the front group and we have a break, most of the big hitters or lower weight who are doing too much power to weight ratio, they tend to take it easy. And you can really feel that in the legs. I think that's an easy difference of like 50 watts through the entire lap, which is a nice feeling if you're in a race. And then it's just surfing the wheels as good as possible, knowing where we have to go, at what point, and try to stay strong. Let's hope today we are getting in the same position as last time and be a little bit stronger near the end, I guess. Maybe attack a little bit on the climb and then let them catch back up or something. Try to take wheels that way, or just go harder and keep the wheels, and then maybe like overdo it a little bit and have no more sprint in us. That happens too, right? There's so many different tactics into going into that last round, and it all depends on your own mental state, your legs, and the conqueror. If there are low weight riders in your group, they might attack really early on the climb and try to pull that momentum by spinning really hard gaps to close them. If they are heavier like me, they'll probably wait it off a bit. They'll power up the ramp, just keep surfing those wheels until after the last hill, and then after the last hill, trying to ramp it up. That's my ideal situation, I guess. Just an easy up ramp through the hills. Because if we have wheels, once we go through the hills, we are able to sprint. Sure, man. There you go. I was just talking about the different tactics. If you can come in the same results as last time, and we stick with the front group until around 12, what we can do different to make it to make us in a better position to actually win or get a better position. Nice, man. Thank you for that. So last time around, we were in the front group, going on the last lap, on the last hill. The last hill, we went up more quickly than the rounds before, so it took more energy to go up the ramp, and then they started pushing through that, and that was the hardest part for me. It's because there's always getting a gap, trying to do the minimum as possible, and closing that gap costs a lot of effort. And at some points you have to choose, because if you want to go for that gap, you're probably not going to win the sprint again, because you will be whipped from that gap, right? And on the other hand, if you don't close the gap and nobody else does it for you, you are out anyhow. So it's kind of hard to decide at the end. Like beforehand you cannot, because you don't know how exact the situation is gonna roll out, right? How are the others amongst you and around you? Sometimes somebody else will fill up that gap and you have saved up a lot of energy. But I was thinking, like, maybe would it be a thing if we are in the position to do so, to maybe attack ourselves on the climb, trying to make a little bit of a gap ourselves there, because I know the hardest time is just after the climb. Once you hit that com banner, until you hit the first heli, like that 200 meters, 300 meters, those are the hardest meters for me, because it goes up a little bit and it's hard to get your heavy character back up to speed. And that's where the other riders mostly create like a small gap like there is now. And it's really, really hard after that big effort of the climb to close it. So maybe if you attack yourself and you create the gap, they have to first close it, but then if you still have a little bit in the tank, you can just try to hook on once they pass you. That also takes a little bit of effort, of course. So the question is, how much is there in the tank to try and do that? Because I'm not getting away solo from the group. I'm not that strong. I'm not that strong that I can sprint up the hill and then maintain like 300 watts at least to the finish. I don't think I can do that. I would be too tired for that, from that gap creation. But maybe like creating a gap, get them up to speed, and then try to pick in is maybe a good tactic. Or we can just YOLO it like last time, and I hope to be a little bit more lucky. Because last time it was close, right? We used the power up just after the climb. So we climbed without power up, then just after we hit that arrow, just trying to close that gap. I think there were like 4 riders in front of me back then. But it cost me a lot of energy. And yeah, we didn't really close it. So I think it's pretty accurate, especially on the indoor trainer, because your wattage are measured with a power meter, but I don't think they are true outside, because outside I see, if I see my averages outside, they are way lower than on the trainer, because there's so many moments you stop paddling when you have draft or you have a turn. Outdoor rides are more like intervals in my case. We push for a few kilometers, then we chill a little bit, we push a few more kilometers. So I don't really take that into account. But for the indoor training, I think it's really accurate. Maybe it works better for you, but in my case, because Zwift gives you a lot of numbers and statistics, so you can easily compare my whole year with my outdoor rides, right? So if I know I'm going outdoors, I pretty much know what wattage I'm putting out as to what effort I'm doing for it. So if I'm really working, I know I'm around 300. If we're just pushing, but like in Blue Zone, we know we're around 200, and then if we're chilling, yeah, it's everything below, right? Yeah, outside I don't have neither, but Strava, they calculate on your speed and your distance, right? They know how fast you go, and they know how far you go, and then they know your weight, and with all that information, they calculated your average wattage. I don't think that's working because a light rider will need to push a lot of less watts than a heavy rider. So I'm not sure if that is gonna work. "21 minutes before the event, we still have over 10k to go. It's gonna be a close one again. I always pick the close ones, man. Never the safe routes. I try to like calculate in my head a little bit how long I can go or how far I can go, and then try to pick the furthest distance that I still have a badge for, need a badge for, and pick that route. In this case, the greatest London flat. We still have 100 climbing meters, so yeah, probably it's not gonna be for today. But we will be warmed up. We will be warmed up. And we are doing the DT miles, right? You're really into that zero alcohol, right? You never drink alcohol, or you just wanna be more healthier? There are some good ones if you want to stay alcohol free. There are some good ones out there. So if you go to in a bar and you want to be one of the guys without getting drunk, you can. But in my case, I prefer to drink like 1 or 2 real beers and then switch over to soda pop or something, or water. It will probably do just fine, I guess. You're expecting to be like disgusted or something about it? Like, I'm testing if I'm not gonna puke, and if not, then yes. I'll take it in. But I think the best thing is if you want to prepare them, but they're doing it themselves with marketing, right? They're saying it's beer with zero alcohol, but to be honest, they just like give it another name and make it a beverage like something else. Because the taste is a little different than the real beer. It always will be, I guess. I after one beer, I can get a few beers in before I really feel it the next day. I don't think that's a good thing though, to be honest. Like yesterday evening, we went for a gin tonic after the race. It was nice, nice and fresh. Sorry, man. Let me switch my bottle off. Wow, I don't see him. Sorry. There we go. Whew. Grower Fortuna. It's a real Polish one, or is it imported? It sounds Polish. That's nice, man. Local beer. The trainer is getting a little bit noisier and noisier. I think I have to like have a quick look at it soon. Seeing if everything is well. It has been a year. I think it's a chain. Don't have any lubricate here. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. I will try to remember the name though. I'll try to remember the name. Last time around, I put a little bit too much on it, and the whole trainer after the race was full of oil. I don't think we'll make it, guys. I don't think we'll make it. We're just over halfway. We only have 10 minutes left, so we'll probably not make it. So we're just doing it for the kilometers on the TT bike, right? At this point. I thought I was faster than I actually am. It should be 23.7, so that's 9 more kilometers, but I don't think we'll be able to do that in 10 minutes unless we go crazy on it. We still have like 50 outlet meters as well, so those will be going slower. But let's give it 5 more minutes. Get closer to that mission completion. The only distance we still have to do was 34, 36 kilometers on the TT bike. So we should be halfway after this. Heart rate sensor, which one did you pick? Which one did you go for, man? You have like the heart sensor, like with a band around the waist. You have a watch. Oh yeah. I'm really a big fan of the watches. I don't mind, even if they are like 1 or 2 beats off. It happens. It might be like a little bit more accurate with the ones around the waist, but I'm no fan about those, man. I would feel like I'd be feeling trapped the entire time. And we already had the watch. We just found out it works with Zwift, so that's perfect. A little less energy than yesterday. I feel it. So we'll see how the race goes. Yeah, I had the smartwatch before that. Before they, I was going for the steps, you know. I wanted to go with the steps, have like, if I go when biking outside, it's easy to put Strava on and off. So that's why I bought it. But then our work didn't allow them anymore because I work in prison. And prisoners, they smuggle these watches in to try and phone people outside, because some of them, they can be used as a phone, right? The really smart ones. And then my work, they decided they are not gonna bother looking into different types of watches, and they'll just ban all of them. So I wasn't able to use it anymore on work, which is like at least 8 hours a day as towards steps. So I wasn't using it anymore the last couple of months, unless for like bike trips outside. And then last year we started Zwifting, and we found out that this Garmin watch, I have the 235, that this watch is compatible with Ant Plus. So that was perfect, right? So I could enter races and not be disqualified for having no heart rate. And it gives them a good indication on how fast or how big of an effort you're doing. But in my case, if we're racing, I'm always going 110%, so it doesn't matter what the heart rate says, it's gonna be booming. And 160, 170, so fast. So we are 5K short, doesn't matter. We're not gonna hit that. So we just rounded up to 18 kilometers and then we'll join the event. Let's see how that will roll out. I'm not in perfect condition, so I'm hoping the start isn't gonna be too high, but it's always hard, so I don't know why I'm even asking that. The starts are always crazy fast. Let's just hope many people got coned and we have a chill race around our normal level and just paying our way through the end and try to put ourselves in a position to take part in the sprint. I think on the 8 lap crit races it's a little bit better for me because 8 laps is like my perfect distance, 20 minutes full gas. Now it's like 32, 33 minutes I guess, something like that, 32 minutes to completion. So if there's some gaps or attacks in between, we will be pretty dead against the end. And depending on who's riding with us, if they go early, they'll probably kill me. But let's keep that a secret and try to stick with that as long as possible. And if we're still in the wheels on the hilly parts, then we can go for it. Let's join the event, let's change the bike. Hey Mobetta. Woo! $55 people. That's pretty okay. It's pretty okay. Let's go for the shiny bike. Are you feeling purple? We're feeling purple, man. It's a purple day today. Hey Phil Rich, thanks man. Let's hope the C's, there's no bug today and the C's start alone. The first time around, this is the third time we're doing the Green Cone race, right? The Zwift headquarters race. The first time around we tried this, we actually had a really fast start. There was a big attendance. And then there was a bug. And thanks for the host by the way. There was a bug where the A's, the B's, the C's and the D's were all on the same course. So we really had a fast start, which always is the case in the Quid City race. But then on the second lap, there was an A group passing us. And yeah, you know what happens, right? If it's an A group passing us, you're still in the second round. You know you have to try and catch them a little bit. Even if it's for like half a lap, you'll have such a big gap, right? So we sprinted to that wheel, and that's the point where we got coned the first race. So I think in under 4 minutes, we were coned, and we got a stamp on our face for a trainer, lamer, sandbagger, and we actually we completed the race, but we went solo for the entire ride. I think I finished like 10 minutes after the first one. Um, but then I knew there was a bug, right? Because I knew the A's and the B's shouldn't be there at that point. And 4 minutes in, we knew that it was gonna get easier after that. But Zwift didn't take that into account. Second time around, it was a C's alone, and we didn't get green count. A lot of people did though. Yeah, I don't think Zwift is really thinking about that fast starts, because they're mostly, their algorithm is about your 1 minute and your 5 minute average, and those starts are really, really hard. Even in the C's, people are going in the red so high. Even I am going in the red so high just to be with that front group. But then again, if they wait till the finish, it's too late, right? One more minute, and then we'll ramp it up. Let's have another sip. So I am expecting the first lap to be fast anyhow, especially up until the first climb, and then we'll see people chilling out a little bit more, hopefully. First green coast will show up around that time. Thanks, man. We'll try to stay strong. It's 12 laps. So we'll be just over the half an hour, if you're lucky. They don't look afraid. Yeah. We survived the first round. Yeah, some cones will be popping up soon. You can feel some of them that are really pulling. It's Cone City, baby! A little bit of a gamble here. No, they're not getting away. Woo. We got them, we got them. This one guy is riding so on top with the green corner. It's crazy, man. Thanks. Whew. Hopefully we don't have too many gaps like that one. One nice big drop. Let's just try to hide a little bit. Try that will work. Still 70K. This conga is going up. These guys are pushing it. Doesn't really matter. This is a good one as well. We should fix it in a second. Hey Physic man, how are you? We're battling in the first group, man. We're battling. These guys came for racing. 13K to go. Hey, kitten. Thanks for tuning in, guys. At this point, we're doing fine, but things can go nasty really quickly. Let's just take them down lap by lap. Lap by lap. Stay with the front. That's it, lap by lap. Trying to hold wheels. Those are gaps I don't want to be closing often because they chip away at you. And at the long haul, that's the part we want to save, I guess. A little bit of a string there. So if we want, that's fixed. I need more wind. It's hot here. Have to be careful at this point. Not sure who's who. My group was gone. Bastards. Four more laps, guys. Four more laps. Let's go. Let's stay strong. Exactly, man, exactly. Like this little group is a little more like the attacking type than the chill part. You have these groups where you maintain the same pace and routine through the laps. But these guys, they keep attacking on the most weird points. So there's always these tiny gaps to be closed. But it's only 6 of us anymore. So let's try to stay with him. This green cone guy, he's probably an A++++ rider, so we're not minding him though. The other ones are not gold, so those are the competition. That means we have to stay strong, and we are guaranteed top 5. Conga is actually incognito Froome. And he's still pulling this group. God damn it. Give this guy an extra cone. He deserves a double cone, guys. Careful here. I don't want to get stuck here. If you pass these groups and you're not being careful, you get stuck in the wrong group and you're gone, man. But we pulled through and we're still in it. Of course, Conga is here. Two more laps, guys. Come on. Oh my god, that's not right. I'm restarting my heart rate monitor. I'm not gonna change that goal, guy. Fuck that. Last lap soon, guys. 4. We are 4 left. For all the marbles. For all the marbles. Heart rate is up. Yay, we have a burrito! God damn it! So, what's the tactic, guys? What's the tactic? If they start on the climb and they ramp all the way through, I think we're fucked. But let's see. Let's try to climb pretty fast and see if we can get in a good position. He's fast, man. nasty end. Nasty ending. Whew. So the guy in front of me got coned in the sprint. I was trying to hold the wheels, but he had some good ones in the end. The guy in front did 5.9. He didn't get coned and he did 5.9. What? They still have some work to do, but to be honest, it's a really nice race, right? Like you can actually feel the nervousness in the start, and then you can feel it cooling down a bit during the ride itself. There are some attacks, but most of the time you are pretty recuperated to counter them or just try to maintain the gaps. Cool, thanks guys. I'm really happy with the result. I think the most scariest thing in this race was the last few rounds where we overtook some groups, because if it's like at some point and your guy decides to draft the wrong guy, then you are wasted, because you have to get like 200 watts more to get out of his draft again, and then there's a gap of like 5 seconds or something. So that's the scary part. You want to pay attention to that. That's one of the things that really sucks about having mixed categories on this track, specifically because it's only 2.5 minutes, so people will be being lapped, and it might cost you your position in a top group. I think there were 2 or 3 like points in this race alone where I really had to be careful, and if I didn't ramp it up for passing the group, I would have been slipped in the draft. But overall you can see we do have to do less overall watts for a good position in this race. Like if you do a normal crit race, we are averaging around 285, 290 watts at 3.3 watts per kilo. But if everybody is on the right category, it's a lot easier. And it doesn't mean it's easier on the legs, but the overall wattages, the start is less excruciating. Now it's only like not even a lap where you have to put 400 watts in. In a normal crit race, it's 1 lap, maybe even 2 laps of going all red just to stick with that front. Yeah, that's true, man. You have to know the rules. It's what gives you an advantage of the people who just started as well, right? Like they might be doing, as you can see, Jay Van Dijk, he's behind me. He did more watts than me, average. He did 3.7 watts per kilo, but he didn't win. He didn't win. The Hoffmann, he took him with a gap of 0.0001 seconds. No problem. I'm pretty sure you got coned in the end as well, this G Van Dijk. So you can see the sprint in the end. We hit 850, which is, to be honest, it's not bad. But I want to do better. I know I can do better there, man. But it's the ramp up. The ramp up is so hard. You start with the climb on the dolphin, doing like 400 or 500 watts. Then you have to push all the way through like 300 watts. It's just not, it's just a little bit too much for me at this point. Hey Dave. Yeah, I like this race, man. The first, the first race we did with the green cones turned out to be a unique one because we didn't like that one because we got coned ourselves with the bug. But the last one and this one, they feel really great. It's almost 24K, but I really feel like I'm in my place here. And you can see we're in good shape. You can see people getting dropped by the front group, and it's nice to stay there. In the end, we were only 5 guys for the sprint, so that's nice, right? That gives us a good feeling. Maybe we should try doing this race in the bees next week or something, and see how quickly we get dropped there, right? Well, to be honest, we are feeling better than normal. We are doing less average watts as well to stick with the front because there's less sandbaggers, right? On the normal crit races in the C class, there are 20, 30 sandbaggers going like 4 watts per kilo or more. And on the grid race, if you are in the group, you are able to follow easier. So yeah, we can still do decent results there, but it's not as fun as this. In this race, you really feel like you're racing. There was even one time where we had a little attack on the climb. In a normal C crit race, you cannot do that. If you do that, you shoot every match you have and you're done. they will crush you and eat you up alive. But here it's possible, and that's fun. You can try and do some real attacks during the race and actually recover from them, sit in a group and still be able to sprint for the end. Thank you so much for the 5 bits, by the way, kid. I didn't see it. The sun is in my screen. Thank you so much for that. Want to do a quick look at Zwift Power, if that's up. It might not be up yet. Nah, it's not up yet. But feeling like I feel today, I think like we are ready to try maybe a B race next week. If we are able to do the Zwift headquarters again, I think we can try it. I have 2 screens, and the right screen, the sun was right in the screen where the chat is, so it's really hard to see it. So I have a quick look at Strava. Meanwhile, it always takes like 10 minutes or something for the results to 3 month. 3 month? I'll try that. Fifth is still up, right? Okay. So you can see the different patterns. The highest points are always the sprints or the climbs, and it always follows like the same pattern to the entire race. And then in the end, it's a lot of orange. You start with the climb, and then you press on through, and then press if you have left a sprint out. 34 minutes and 50 seconds. So it wasn't the fastest one, but we really felt good on this one. That's nice. We came a few kilometers short for the Greater London Flat. As you can see, we have to like close this gap. I think it's like 4 kilometers, 5 kilometers. We still have to close for the badge. Yeah, I think in the Zwift headquarters race, like the one we did today, which is every day at 5 p.m. my time, I think we can go to the beast and we can try out the beast. So next week, I do want to try that out. If we fail, we fail, right? Doesn't matter. At least we tried. But there's still a big difference between the cone race and the real crit races, because the real crit races, the C class is mainly B class, and the B class has a lot of A class riders. So in a C class, we really struggle a lot and struggle much harder as today, just to stick with the front. As for today, we had some slow parts where we closed some gaps and we still felt really strong. So that's a good thing. That means the cone thing is working, right? It's doing its thing. They are getting it working. But that means, like in this race, I can try the B class, and then I probably have a really hard time staying with the front. But that might be the nice thing about it. We'll see. We'll try it next week, man. I'm not sure at what point we'll try it, but Saturday we have the outdoor ride, so we might try it tomorrow or the next day, Friday, and then try the B class in this race. But we have to enter the race at 5 p.m., so it's pretty precise. If it's just C riders like this race, I feel comfortable in the C's, and I might give you. I give you. You're right, man. You're right. In this race, I might be a slow B rider. So let's try that one of the next days when we have time to ride at the same hour as today. We'll just join the B race and see how we do there. But if we're gonna try more B rides, we're gonna have such a hard time, man. Such a hard time. Yeah, yeah. To be honest, we had like a few laps where we were sitting really good in that front group, and then we had some reserves to go a little bit longer on the end. But most of the time in those grid races, if they start like they did today on the climb, it's really hard to push all the way through, because it's like a 1 minute effort, a big 1 minute effort, right? And then in the end of the effort, you have a 15 to 20 second sprint all in one go, and it makes it so bloody damn hard, man. It makes it so hard. And if you're really struggling, like every round, pushing to stick with the front, that last bit, it just kills you. It just kills you. But today we were strong enough to feel comfortable in the front group. We're still working, of course. We're still working. We're sweating. We're doing a lot of work to stick with them, but we're not going in the red to stick with them, and that's such a huge difference. So we start the last climb pretty fresh, and we were able to stick with the front two guys. There was one guy off the front who was not coned at that time, but we got him back, right? So he started too early. He started too early. We managed to maintain like 350 watts. There was one guy in our wheel. I let him take over on the hills, and then I started sprinting out of his wheel, so we get a little bit of that momentum from draft of his wheel, and we slingshot it. Tried to hold strong, and we actually on the screen it was really close, but in the results we got him. We got him. I thought we, in my mind, on the screen, I thought we just came short of catching him, but we actually got him. So he was probably lagging a bit, or I was, but yeah, that's so true. That's so true. But then again, not every race is the same, right? We might do this exact same race tomorrow with the same legs, but other competition with other strengths, and we might have a very tough time because I've noticed the more heavier riders there are in this Grid City race, the tougher it gets because you're pushing on the equal points, right? Thomas Conte, thanks for the follow, man. Thank you so much. But I feel if there are a lot of lighter riders, they have to push a lot more watts per kilo on the flats, and either they get coned in this race because they are pushing too much watts, or you did on Strava. Can. Basically, there was only one cone guy who was with the front the entire ride, all 12 rounds, and yeah, he was actually pulling the group. And I think the second to last round, he sprinted away from us, so he must been like a 6 watts per kilo at least to get away such easy as that. But yeah, he was gone. But then this other guy got coned just in the last sprint. Yeah, it's a really short climb, this one. So I get the momentum with my weight going into it. So the first like 20 meters of this short climb you get for free with the weight I have, and then it's a 20-second power house, right? I only need to have like 450 watts for like 15 20 seconds most, and then we're on the top, and then it's the same rhythm again. So basically, you have to like hide yourself as much as you can, and then every ride you have 20 seconds of pushing hard, then making sure there's no gaps behind that climb. And once there's no gaps, you're probably good again until the next climb. Unless somebody is attacking or you're catching a group, of course. Climbing is hard, man. I'm getting better on those short ones. Anything under 10 minutes, I feel pretty comfortable for. But once it goes above 10 minutes of climbing, I'm way too heavy. I'm way too heavy. Nothing special on the results here, right? Weighted average power 280. And that's 20 minutes 267. Yeah, thanks, Physic. It really felt like a good day as well. It really felt really good. And the legs, they felt a little bit lazy in the warm up, but they woke up and they showed up. And we went mentally. It was really cool being in the front and feeling like good the entire race. Even though you're working, there's a difference, right? You're working, but you know you are not struggling to hold on. And most of the time we are struggling. Most of the races we push yourselves like 110% just to keep those wheels. And today we didn't have that feeling. Today we felt really good in the front. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, boys. So you can see the second one was 12 seconds behind. So I'm not sure if he was in the same group as me, but didn't wasn't able to hang on. I don't remember his name. Maybe that's a group that was behind us. Not sure. But we have the gold, guys. We have the gold. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. But you can see, like, if you watch the other guys, 3.3, 3.4, 3.3, we have some tricks up our sleeves here somehow. I don't know. They are working harder and they are not winning. This guy was, I know him from the races with BZR. He's a really good rider. I think he's a B rider normally. By the way, he was a B rider. So how did the bees do? The bees are doing 32 minutes and 6 seconds. So that is more than 2 minutes faster than our race. So if we join the bees, we must be lucky to get like top 10 maybe. Yeah, true. We had a good one. But that's also a little bit of luck, right? Yeah, being in the best position at the best time. Maybe there were some gaps behind me. I saw this one guy working like 2 times really hard because he got caught with overtaking to get back. That will say take a lot of your matches. But our positioning was really awesome this race. We stuck with the front. We didn't have any big gaps to be closed. I think there were like 2 or 3 little gaps that I closed that I felt like were a little bit higher as wattage wise to stick with. But we always recuperate really well. They didn't attack big on the climbs, so that's a good thing. And we kept strong on the weakest parts. That's just behind the climb, just after that com banner. That's my weakest point in the course, and that's the point where I really always have to focus and work a little bit harder to not let any gaps come, because if they are there, they probably stay there. True, man. But I think tomorrow or the next day, if we find the time to be at to be able to race around 5 p.m. again, next time we do this Rift headquarters, we'll join the bees, man. We'll just do it. We'll try it, and we'll do our best. And if we fail, we fail. Doesn't matter. At least we tried. At least we tried. I think in a Quid City race we might be able to keep a little bit of a good pace going. Hey, teammate. We will see. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm gonna have to join the family for dinner and have a little bit of a walk outside. Thank you so much for tuning in. Kitten, thank you so much for the 5 bits, man. Support is awesome, guys. Um, and we'll be back tomorrow. If not for a race, we still have to do stage 3. We still have to do some TT riding. We have to do some badge hunting. So we might be up for anything tomorrow, depending on how we feel and what time we're able to get on. And the Zwift headquarters is one of them as well. So we have a lot of options. So depending on the time we are online, we'll pick one of those and we'll be back for more. Today was a great day. Thank you so much. And I see